Dear ones, there are days in life that come without warning. Days we never imagine, yet they change everything. Days that feel like a nightmare, shaking the very core of our hearts. Such was this day, the darkest day of our lives, when our guiding light left this world for the heavenly abode. Our hearts were shattered, our world stood still. We couldn't reach on the first day, but by Baba's grace, I was fortunate to attend the Shraddhanjali Sabha. But how I reached there is a story in itself, a journey of faith and devotion. And today I would like to share it with you through this vlog. So guys, this journey was filled with learnings, and I must say this was one of the most unusual journeys we have ever taken. For the first time ever, we stood at the railway station with no confirmed tickets in hand. But that doesn't mean we hadn't tried. We had booked 4 seats on 4 different trains, but due to peak season, not a single one was confirmed. And we are here right in the train without confirmed ticket. First time ever. But look at this man. I truly pity this man. I was a bit worried for myself, but more for him, because for him it was an entirely new experience and he had my responsibility as well. But since we were traveling for a sacred purpose, I know a miracle would happen. And yes, I'll tell you, it happened. Now guys, we were 5 members without any confirmed ticket. And you see this elderly man in the white, he was traveling with us for the same reason. But suddenly, out of nowhere, he started feeling sick. He felt unwell, sweating heavily even in an AC compartment, and somehow he had to get off the train despite having a confirmed ticket. It was really unfortunate for him, but for five of us, it proved to be a grace. We could at least get a seat to sit. But the struggle didn't end here. Hundreds of people out there were just chasing the ticket checker, the TC, for one seat just for sitting purpose, but due to heavy crowd, there was no seat available. Ticket checker refused to help at any cost, but my man, he didn't give up. He kept asking him. But you know what? As I told you, miracle will happen. And that's what happened. Exactly, that's what happened. 2 hours later, this ticket checker, TC, he traveled 5 bogies and came searching for us. And there he found us and gave us these 2 seats in the first AC compartment. Finally, a sigh of relief. But another twist awaited us. Those very seats had already been sold by the attendant to some youngsters, and here the chaos began. But we were stubborn and adamant enough that we need our seats, the rightful seats, because TC sold those seats to us. And somehow we reached there. We asked the attendant, how can you sell that seat to someone else? So he gave that seat to us, and those youngsters were shifted, I don't know where. And now this appliance that I'm showing you, I just want to tell you how Indian Railways, they focus on these unnecessary stuff. This is something that shows how many washrooms are vacant and how many of them are occupied. But how useless it is. Why it is useless, I'll tell you. But let me take some rest at first, because we were super tired, we were exhausted, and I just wanted to lie down and just take some rest. Honestly, it felt like a heaven. And now we have reached. Now let me tell you why I called that digital display totally useless. Guys, I know it has got some use, but what is the need if we cannot focus even on basic hygiene and cleanliness at these big railway stations? It was all dirty, all trash, everything was dispersed here and there, and then we are just installing these digital features. It's of no use, guys. What do you have to say? What do you think? Am I right? And then we bought these fancy items. It was early morning, and look at this picture. This is only to show you all how overcrowded it was, because it was peak season. But yeah, by the grace of God, we got those 2 seats. It's all because of belief and faith. And here we are. As soon as I saw this restaurant lane, I was overjoyed, because finally I understood I'll be able to manage eating something. And on someone's recommendation, on my sister's recommendation, we came to this VIP waiting room because we had our connecting train after 2 hours. And I must appreciate the facilities inside. First things first, okay, somehow I searched one nearby food joint. I asked for a quick help because my gut health was poor by now, absolutely poor. So I asked for some ajwain and some black salt, mixed them together, and had it like medicine. It gave me a bit of relief, and that's how my morning began at the railway station, right? So, guys, just one thing, if you do not feel well, do not ever hesitate to take help from such places. Why? Because they will never refuse to help. That's what I believed. And now I was ready to eat. So, first medicine, and now it was time to go explore the lane that I already saw early morning. So I was here and I could see some lively food stalls. Finally, I found one of them and where I can find my favorite dosa, but look at it, how it looked. It looked strange. And after that, I went for idli. And I want to tell you, it had a strange detergent like smell. Still I ate little bit. My god, I still cannot forget that smell. And then I inaugurated this new book of mine and began reading. It is amazing so far. It is Eat That Frog, and it is all about how can we stop procrastinating. And now we finally reached this junction, this railway station, this platform. But guys, here I need your help. So while I was sitting there, I could notice one thing. These big dabbas. I don't know why at least 1000 people carried these dabbas with them. Every other person, and I couldn't get the answer. What is the use? Why are they carrying it? But I want you all to give me this answer. Why these people were carrying these dabba? At least 1000 people. And then we got on the train. Here we had a sigh of relief since we had a confirmed seat to Lucknow. And here also one tragedy happened. So someone was already sitting at our seat, but since it was all booked, reserved, so finally we asked them, we requested them to shift and we could get our seat. And finally this man was happy, I was happy, and now we can sleep. Today for the first time I understood the concept of bed tea, because I got one for the first time ever while I was sleeping. I was blessed with this cup of tea and I could realize what people really call a bed tea. And now this journey of introspection began. I sat there reading, enjoying the view outside the window, and I must tell you guys, I have always loved train journeys. They let you think, read, dream, and just be in the moment. Soon came the reminder. We are about to reach, get ready. We were super late because train was running 2 hours late, but I was still half asleep and I was just thinking to prepare myself, and I was just engrossed in reading my book. And I had this water just to give a good relaxation to my gut health. But God always pairs you up with someone who is totally opposite to your personality. And you know who is the opposite candidate here? The other person. While I was getting ready to brush my teeth, the other person in the pair was all set. Means after taking shower, already dressed, showered, and all set for the ceremony. That's how we are paired. One calm, one disciplined, and other one a bit late. Took shower in the shower room, got dressed up, enjoyed his tea, and all set for the ceremony. And now we have finally reached our destination, Lucknow. There's a saying, मुस्कुराइए आप लखनऊ में हैं. For the first time ever, we had no smiles. Our hearts were heavy, we were quiet, we felt low. Why? Because we had those emotions. Grief. Today roads were blocked, traffic was diverted, and cars were parked far away from the ashram. After a long emotional journey, we finally managed reaching this destination, and it felt really heavy, not at all lively. There was grief and heaviness in the heart. For the first time ever, there was no excitement and there was no liveliness inside. We felt heavy. And this time I was a bit exhausted, grieving, and heavy. Also, very, very quiet. And somehow we reached the ashram, and as you can see, cars were parked for kilometers. We could imagine the crowd inside. Oh my god. And somehow we have finally reached our destination. The last time I was here was 1.5 years back. We had divine darshan of our Baba at that time, but this time the scenario was entirely different. Somehow I just got ready, little bit ready. Why? Because we were already running 2 hours late. It was about to start at 1 p.m. and we reached at 3 p.m. and still we were outside. We just stepped inside, and by God's grace, we were given a very comforting room with all the facilities. What else do we need at our Guru Darbar? We reached there, I quickly changed, quickly got ready without wasting even a minute. And now came the time when I was finally ready to serve my purpose, the reason why I visited here. And now I straightaway headed to take darshan. And I really want to tell you one thing. I can't put into words how it felt. It was heavy yet blissful, and one thing that everyone felt was his presence. I reached the place where I could take his darshan. I thanked him for everything. I cried, I smiled, I complained, I prayed. I just sat there soaking in that divine silence. And to be honest, we could feel his divine energy in every corner, and it felt really, really divine. And now I straightaway headed for prasadam. After taking prasadam, we headed towards the hall where the ceremony took place. Saints, officials, gurus, priests, administrative officers from all over the world arrived to pay tribute. But the discipline being maintained there was commendable. I went speechless. And here, all of them paid their tribute. You can listen.
के जीवन में हर गुण प्रमुख था। जिन्हें रख के बाबा साईं को देखेगा, वह गुण उनको बाबा साईं में दिखाई देंगे। कर करके बाबा साईं हमारे युग पुरुष हैं।
Now it was time for taking darshan of hundreds of gurus gathered there. Something that touched our heart was this beautiful voice, melodious voice by our little Sai, 4-year-old, who dedicated this beautiful song to our Baba Sai. Please listen to it.
शक्ति में सतराम बाबा साईं, भक्ति में कवराम बाबा साईं, युक्ति में सखी राम बाबा साईं, जिनका मन बाबा साईं, चित चिंता प्रसन्न बाबा साईं, बाबा साईं, बाबा साईं, बाबा साईं, बाबा साईं, निर्भय बाबा साईं, चाहे सबकी खैर बाबा साईं।
Hearts were melted, eyes were wet, we all went numb. The entire ambience transformed in minutes. And now I came here for having this evening tea, prasadam, and see how well maintained it is. And finally, now it was time to leave this beautiful place with a lot of blessings, with a lot of divinity in our heart. But all I know is Lucknow will never be same for us. We'll always miss his presence, his divine presence. Somehow we just reached the railway station, and the train we were about to board, we didn't catch that. We got the train that was earlier to that time, and I don't know why, what was the reason why my partner did that. But honestly, it was the best decision because the train that we were about to catch was delayed by 10 hours. So it was a wonderful decision, and now we came here. While we were going inside, all our relatives were found in the same train, and yeah, it was a great journey. That's how we reached home. If you have watched till here, please like, comment, and subscribe my channel.